Everybody, this is Andrew from T is for Tech, and in today's video I'm taking a look at this portable power station from a company called EGRETECH or EGRETECH. It's E-G-R-E-T-E-C-H. This is their Sonic 1200 watt portable power station, and this is a little bit big here, bigger than some of the other power stations I've taken a look at in the past on the channel, so I'm excited to take a look at this and see how it kind of performs. So before I unbox this, I'm just going to go over a couple of the quick specs. Like I said, it is a 1200 watt power station. It has a capacity of 999 watt hours. And that's 37 volts, 27 amps. This is a lithium battery, life cycles of greater than 1,000 if you're charging it to 80%. It does have a battery management system with over voltage protection, short circuit protection, etc. This features what they call G-Wave technology. So with the intelligent inverter in here, it can support a load up to 2400 watts. So it does have a bidirectional inverter. You can charge this thing in about 1.67 hours. And I guess you don't need an adapter to do that. I think you can just plug it in. So I'm gonna have to see what that means. It is pretty lightweight compared to other devices of this size, right? Because of the lithium batteries, because of the way that they've compactly put this thing together. It weighs about 22 pounds, which is actually pretty good for something that has this much power built in. If you do have a solar panel for this, there is an optional solar panel. You can actually charge it up with the solar panel, which is nice. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up and we will take a look. Now in the past I have done some reviews of some other portable batteries or portable chargers like this that on the channel, but I have not done one that has this much capacity. So that's pretty nice. And what I do like about this is I am often, I use my outdoor deck and patio a lot in the summer, and I don't have any power out there. So when I'm out there with my kids and whatnot, you know, we usually have some speakers, or sometimes we set up a projector and, you know, project on a screen and things like that. And I often end up having to run a power cable like all the way from the side of my house to the back. If I have something like this out there, we can use this instead of having to kind of deal with all of that. So it does give you a product guide manual here. Gives all the information around charging it and all what the LCD screen shows and all that. And kind of like what it said, there's an adapterless charge, so you don't need a power brick to charge this. You basically can just plug in the power cord right into it, and everything is internal to the device. Also has a car 12 volt adapter, so if you want to charge this up from your car battery or while you're driving or something like that, you can do that. This is the plug, looks like just a monitor plug or computer desktop plug, something like that. So with this guy here, the charge ports are on the side underneath here. So this is the AC input here. This is the solar or the car input. So if you have the solar panel for this, it has this sort of little plug adapter. Same with the car. The rest of this is air venting on this side. It does have wireless charging on top. So if you want to charge your phones or something like that, you can just put them right on top of here and it will charge. On the side, you do have your regular electrical outlets. And each one of these sections has its own on and off. So if you want to turn this on, you need to turn this button on. Turn the whole device on from the top here. I don't know if you can see. It's really hard to see here, but it says 58%. And then basically, if you want to turn on the USB portion, you just press the button there, turn it on. Same thing with the DC portion here. If you want to do that, you turn it on. Like I said, turn on the power outlets on the side as well, on and off. It does have a light in front too. I don't know if you can see here this light bar, but there is a button at the top that you can turn it, change it. Does an SOS kind of thing, emergency flashing. There's a couple brightnesses and whatnot. So for the Qi wireless panel, you do need to use this button over on the side that says the DC/Qi. So that's how that works. So overall, it's pretty easy to use. Like I said, a couple buttons here. On the top, there is a display panel that you cannot see. I'm gonna have to record it with my phone or something so you can see that. But these lights are just a little bit too overpowering. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and get a bunch of stuff and plug it in and just kind of go over and see what I can plug into this and just see how it behaves. But the display function does have like a battery power indicator, it has a low temperature, high temperature alarm, some percentages, remaining charge, input, output, power display, some icons for all the different things that are turned on or whatnot. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, it does look like, and I didn't know this was a feature, that you can charge your car battery in an emergency. So using the lighter adapter and then connecting those to the positive negative terminal on your car, you can charge your battery enough to start it. Now it does require some emergency start connection cable that has probably those alligator clips that you can clip onto your battery, but that's an option if you'd like to look into that as well. But yeah, overall seems pretty good. Just from the individual ports themselves, the AC output does 120 volts at 60 hertz, 1200 max, 1200 watts max with a pure sine wave. So should be clean output, right? Not noisy electrical output for anything that you're plugging into the regular power connections. The USB-A output here on the top has a 24 watt max output. The USB-Cs have 132 watt max output. From the AC input side, it takes in 1000 watts max when you're charging it. For the solar input, it does take a 200 watt max. So if you have a 200 watt solar panel that you can get from EGRETECH, you can use that to plug it in. Although I think that the solar panel that they sell, I thought I saw was only 100 watts. So I'm not really sure there, but it can take a max of 200 watts. Now, if you're using the AC charger and just plugging this in your house, it should charge in about 1.5, a little bit over 1.5 hours. If you're charging it via car, it'll take 9 hours to charge, and the solar panel might take 6 to 7 hours to charge, depending on the wattage of that. So overall, this looks pretty cool. So what I'm going to do, like I said, I'll go ahead and plug some stuff in, and I'll do some video recording of this, maybe with my phone, so you can actually see the LCD display a little bit better. And we'll talk about it there. So let's hop on over and take a look.
So here you can see what the LCD looks like on the device. It just shows the percentage of battery and a visual display of how full it is. And then when you turn on any of the individual sections, like the USB portion, it shows what the output wattage is and how many hours of expected battery life you have at that current output, right? So, and then it constantly will change the percentage on the battery level accordingly. So here I have the iPad mini turned on or plugged in, and then I'm just messing with the light to see if that does anything to the output as well. And then I have a mini PC that I'm going to plug in and then turn on just so it boots up and just see what that draws additionally on the device. So as you can see here, you plug it in, you turn on that power, the little LED turns on there, and then I will go ahead and turn on the actual computer. And you can hear the fan turn on there. So it is starting to boot up. And then you can see the output wattage kind of starting to go up, right? It was down around, I think, 14, and now it's up to, 50, 60 as the computer is booting. And you can see that drastically does have a change on the number of hours of available power. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and turn that off. And it should drop down. Yeah, drop down back to where it was. So just a couple tests there just to show what that is like. And now I'm going to also plug in a few other things. So here is an infrared heat device. This does take 10 watts of power. Prior to that, the iPad was using about 14 watts or something, or, give or take 14 watts. Turning this on does bump it up to 24, so it is accurate from a measurement perspective, I think. Then I turned it off, and it does drop back down to 14, so it seems to be accurate from a usage monitoring perspective on the power station. And here I just swapped out the iPad for a USB charging flashlight that I have. So I have a flashlight that charges via USB, and that only uses a few watts of power. Then I turned off the USB there. Now it shows that there's zero draw on the device at all. I turned off the side piece, and then all of the monitoring goes away because nothing is turned on. So I was just kind of playing around, just seeing how the display changes as you change settings on the device. Now for this last test, I actually plugged in my Bamboo Labs A1 printer. So this is a 3D printer. I plugged it into the power station, and only using the power station to actually power this whole thing, just to see if it actually would work. And it does work. Here I was just going to go ahead and print a bed scraper that I had already loaded on my card. And as you can see, I clicked to start, and it's doing its startup procedure. And this is actually really kind of cool. Now, obviously, at the beginning, it's using like a bunch of wattage because it's heating up the bed. It's doing a bunch of that stuff. And at that level of output, it's only going to last an hour, according to the battery management system here. Now, the good thing is with this, it's not consistently pulling 350 watts of power after it gets started. Once the bed is heated up and it's actually doing the printing, you'll see it does go down quite a bit. So here I got past the actual startup procedure, and I plugged in my iPad as well, just to show like I'm charging an iPad, and I'm also running the Bamboo printer, and it was using about 33 watts, 34 watts of total power. You can see both the USB and the AC sections are turned on. And it's not printing yet. It's still doing the bed leveling and the startup procedure. So now it jumped up a little bit to 97 watts. But overall, I did let this run, and it did print for about 13 minutes, and it worked. And at the end of printing, it only used about 7-8% of the battery. And yeah, it took 13 minutes to print this, and it worked fine. And as you can see, like I said, there's still battery left. So I've used this off camera a little bit more as well since I did those recordings, and pretty much everything that I threw at it, it didn't have a problem with at all, which is pretty cool. And I was surprised, like I said, the 3D printer worked. Not that that's a real useful demonstration, because I don't know who would really run a 3D printer off of this, but it shows that, you can have something that draws, a pretty decent amount of wattage, run fine on it, right? I also tried a couple other things like a hot glue gun. I also plugged in my Rodecaster Pro to it. So like if you could use that if you were doing like a podcasting situation where you wanted to bring it on site and you didn't have any power, you can plug everything in and do some recording and podcasting that way, which I think is a cool idea as well. And yeah, pretty much whatever I threw at this, it did not have a problem. Now, obviously, what you're going to run into is this does have a capacity of 999 watt hours. So if you put something on there that's drawing a lot of power, your runtime is going to be degraded, right? Versus if you're using it to charge devices, or if you're in a camping situation and you're running and charging your phones or iPads or, things like that, it's going to last obviously a lot longer. Now, I'm going to link to the EGRETECH website, and you can take a look at this. Right now, it's priced at $569. I don't know if they're usually on sale any more than that. It does look like it's a little bit reduced at the moment. And yeah, there's a lot more information on their website you can take a look at. And if you're interested, maybe check it out. This is Andrew from T is for Tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.